It looks like some body blows might finally be landing on the Trumpinator, even though it appears like it's too little too late, for sure. So the Hill reports here, Donald Trump's national lead in the GOP presidential primary is shrinking, according to a new ABC News Washington Post survey. In hypothetical one-on-one matchups with Cruz and Rubio, Trump loses. Cruz leads Trump 54-41. Damn. And Rubio leads 51-45. Cruz trounces Trump among both evangelicals, 64% to 31%, and self-identified very conservative voters, 60 to 34%. Rubio also beats Trump among both groups. Damn, so those facts are actually pretty devastating. And this brings up an aspect of the race that we haven't spoken about as much, which is one of the main reasons Trump is dominating right now is that the opposition is splintered. So you don't have one single person running against Trump, and if that were the case, it's much more likely that that person, whoever it might be, Rubio, Kasich, or Cruz, they would get most of the votes of that are going to the other people now. So in other words, Trump doesn't pick it up. If you have Rubio and Kasich drop out and Cruz in there against Trump, the Rubio and Kasich votes much more likely are to go to Cruz than to go to Trump. So it is true, there is a grain of truth in the idea that, at least in the primary, there's a little bit of a ceiling on Trump. I think it was Nate Silver who pointed out that he's never gotten over 50% in a primary. Now, again, there are a lot of other people in there, so it'd be hard to do that. But this is, if he has a weakness, this is it, where he has a tremendous amount of appeal to a certain number of people who are really stridently on his side, but then many people who dislike him say, never. I would never vote for him, even Republicans. So that's interesting, man. That's really interesting. And, you know, if the Republican establishment earlier on had consolidated behind one candidate, there's a chance that Trump could have been beaten straight up. But now with all the people still in there, Kasich, Rubio, Cruz still left in there, it appears like the only strategy they might have at this point moving forward is keep everybody in, and all you have to do is try to get enough votes for the other three people to prevent him from winning the delegate count, and then at the convention, you try a tricky brokered convention. Now, it probably won't work out either way, and if they were to do that, Trump would run as a third-party candidate and blow up the whole thing and hand the election to the Democrat. But man, fascinating scenarios to think about here, and I must admit, even I'm surprised by these numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if it was close between Cruz and Trump, or Cruz and Rubio. I'm sorry, Trump and Cruz, Trump and Rubio, and Trump and Kasich in the head-to-heads. But it's not even close. The other guys just beat him. So that's some really interesting stuff. Now, beyond that, this might explain a little bit as to why that is, at least recently. 76% of all attack ads target Trump right now. So he's leading by so much that everybody's flinging it at him. Oh, we're going to take him down. We're going to attack. Now, in my view, I think many of those attacks have been totally ineffectual. We covered a story on the show yesterday, some silly right-wing group that attacks him for his naughty language. You fucking clowns. Don't you understand that the Republican-based voters just going to look at you and go, PC outrage, like, who cares? So what? He said some bad words. They care more about that than him saying, let's torture, quote, even if it doesn't work. They care more about that than him calling to murder civilians in the Middle East. He said target the families of terrorists, not terrorists, the families. They don't get no attack ads on that. There's like, he said the word pussy. Don't vote for him, right? The fact that you're more outraged by naughty language than outright calls to slaughter civilians says everything about you and virtually nothing about him. Although the calling to slaughter civilians says plenty about him, but I digress. So look at this, man. There are some facts here that are sliding against Trump. And then finally, according to a new ABC News Wall Street Journal poll, Cruz nationally is within 3 points of Donald Trump. Damn. Now understand that on average, he's still up big time. He's still up double digits when you take into account all the polls, and this is the closest anyone's been. So it appears like, as Bill Kristol said 843 times before it happened, it does appear like we've hit peak Trump. Like he was at the height of his popularity and he's moving back down here. But, I mean, it looks like he built himself up such a gigantic lead and such momentum to begin with that even with his slide, if he's sliding to still being up by 3 points nationally, guess what? He's still up 3 points nationally. He's still up 3 points nationally, not down. So he already has the delegate lead. He's already taken way more states than anybody else. He already has a tremendous amount of momentum. Like I said, I still have him at about 85%, 86% to win the nomination. Certainly the only person that could catch him, and even this is like kind of, sort of, not really, maybe not really, is Cruz. So there you have it, man. It appears like some body blows are finally landing on the Trumpinator, but it's probably too little too late.